is it?
It's a horse they found wandering about in no man's land.
What kind of an horse?
A miraculous kind of an horse, be my guess.
This is such a beautiful film, and there's so many things thematically going on. I mean, we could really talk about all these different themes, but when you were reading the script, what moved you the most? What did you think was the most important thing that the audience should take from this film?
I think there's a lot to do with family that's very important. I think, I remember bawling my eyes out the first time I read it. It's here is a boy who is beginning to reject his father, and I think probably out of his naivety he doesn't understand why the problems between himself and his father are there, and then he goes off to war, experiences some of the horror that his dad experienced, and then comes back and he understands, and I think there's something very moving about that.
I was so taken with the war stuff, the fact that the horse is indifferent to who's fighting who and is just loved by young men all around him, and he survives through this terrible, terrible scene of devastation where people are dying all around him. I found that incredibly moving.
One of the things about the film is just how incredibly integrated the horse is in every scene, and as an actor it's very difficult to work with an animal. Maybe they don't do what you want them to do. What's the hardest day working with the horse for you guys?
It's I was so new to the whole making movie business thing, so I sort of maybe found you're trying to do an incredibly emotional scene, and the horse maybe isn't so interested in your big emotional close-up. It's more interested in eating the laces off your shoes. So I don't know, but at the same time they were so human, and you really felt that they were displaying real emotions. It was actually a lot easier than I expected.
We had a scene where there's a family argument going on with the dad has bought the horse bought the wrong sort of horse, and the stakes are incredibly high because this means we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose the farm. It's a complete disaster, and I'm standing there really having a go at him, like giving him everything, and the horse is behind him just eating his hat. Just completely took the wind out of my sails.
It was so funny.
Let me ask you about working with Steven Spielberg, because as I was preparing for watching this film, I was thinking to myself, what is Steven's style? And he really doesn't have any style. Every film is new. Every film is fresh. It's so beautiful and innocent in its own way. What did you think was the most impressive thing, as working with many directors as you have, and you're new in the game? What did you get from him as an actor that you thought was new and different?
I loved the fact that he had this enormous crew and, a lot of very technical gizmos at his disposal all the time. Machines that most people would have for half a day if they can scrape together the money. He has them there all the time. But it doesn't feel like a great big technical thing. That crew he's worked with for years, they turn on a sixpence, and they can kind of magic things out of nowhere, and things happen very easily and quietly around him. So despite the very very technical nature of a lot of the work, the experience for the actors was very intimate and very focused.
Yeah. I mean, I literally had to learn everything. I'd had no lines in the chorus of a stage show when I got the job, so I hadn't had any experience at all, and I was just unbelievably privileged to have the best teacher in the world, really, to teach me how to work on film. But it was learning on the job. There wasn't any time for mistakes. I had to learn very quickly, I guess. Which, I don't know. I hope I did, but it was, it was just the most incredible learning curve.